Hello, today I'm going to show you a card that I made with Stampin' Up's brand new Glimmer Paper. This is the red Glimmer Paper. The red Glimmer Paper comes in a piece of 12 by 12, big sheet like this. It's awesome. It has the glitter already on there because if you've ever used glitter, you know what kind of mess that could make. So the first step I did with that is I took the full heart punch and I punched out a full heart, just like that. And then I also took a little strip of the Glimmer Paper and I did this ahead of time, but I'll show you, I did use the scallop edge punch to make a little scalloped edge. Okay, I'll set my Glimmer Paper aside for right now, and then I'll show you the next steps, because the next steps I used the Big Shot. One thing that's really great about the full heart punch is that the embossed scalloped hearts of hearts coordinates perfectly with that. So all I have to do is slip my paper inside, shut the cover, place this side down, and you do want to put your cover perpendicular to the rollers to help protect the hinge. I should say the hinge perpendicular to the rollers. Okay, set down, it's on tab 1, set down an acrylic pad, set down my little embosslet folder, and then we'll roll that through. Up and grab it. Okay, pop that out. And once I've done that, I can open this up and you'll see that I have a little heart that is cut and embossed at the same time. Just pop that out of there, and I'll use that for the background of my full heart. Set that aside for now. The next step in my card was a debossed impression with the Letterpress Plate. So the next step is to take my Letterpress Plate, which this is called Lots of Love Letterpress Plate, and I want to ink it up to give it a little highlight. So I used a craft spot. It's a 1 by 1 inch little sponge spot of ink, and this is pigment based, so it will have the ink that has the color pigments in it and will show up a little bit better. Stampin' Up recommends that you use the craft ink when you do this technique. I recommend when you buy the Stampin' Craft spots that you buy the refill right away, because there isn't a lot of surface area to hold that ink. So it's nice to have a refill to be able to add ink right away. Okay, I inked up my Letterpress Plate. I did decide to add a little piece of cardstock just as a shim so that it'll give it a little bit more of an impression. Then you set down your Letterpress Plate, and it's better to not do this with a bunch of moving so that you don't slide it around. And I'm just going to drop my paper right on top and then put my acrylic pad on top. Now they do recommend that you use your cleanest acrylic pad. Well, I use my Big Shot all the time, so I don't really have a cleanest, and what I mean by cleanest is with the fewest scratch marks. I don't really have one that's cleanest, so I'm just using one I have, and I've really been fortunate that it hasn't been a problem. Then you pick that up, and there you have your debossed piece of cardstock. Let me set aside the Big Shot, because I'm done with that now. And it has the impressions, and it has a little bit of ink added to it so that it will pop out a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to give that a little bit of time to dry, and while I do that, I'm going to go back and work some more on the other parts of my card. So here's my background. Here is the little strip I made and the heart that I punched out. So with my heart, the next step I'm going to do is put this down, and then I will put the heart right on top, just so I have a little scalloped edge around the outside edge. Okay, so I know I have the Glimmer Paper, but I want to add just a little more to it, so I took a couple of the Jewel's Basic rhinestones and just added those on the corner. Okay, I'll set that aside. And then I also, and I'm not going to show you this part directly, but I did a little piece, focal piece with the Teeny Tiny Wishes. I love that stamp set. It helps you out in every time. So this is going to be my little sentiment. Okay, so pull this back now. I am going to put some adhesive right along the very bottom edge. and then I'm going to line that up. And I just want the little scallops showing. I'm not leaving a whole bunch of the other part showing. So there, I have my scallops showing. Then the next step, I am going to take my cheater ribbon, and what I do, this is the red satin ribbon, and I will take a little bit of mini glue dot, put that right down there, and take my shorter piece, and we're going to tie just a quick knot on the top, the debossed piece with the letterpress plates, and I'll trim my tails in a little bit. Okay, so now all I need to do is get my very beautiful glimmer heart, and we'll set that down about there. Take my sentiment, and I'm going to throw a couple of little dimensionals on there. Pull backs off, and these, because I wanted them small, I just cut apart my edges and line that up there. One step left. And then I am going to use the mini glue dots just on the edges to adhere this down to my card. You can do this same background technique with the letterpress plate with it not inked. Because I added the ink, it just helps it highlight it a bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to pull this one back in because it has the nice pretty tails on the knot. But this is how you use the raised letterpress for the Big Shot. If you have any questions, be sure to send me an email at chris@mystamplady.com. Thanks for watching.